श्रीशुक उवाच
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनिर्
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोने
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुद्य तुष्टात्
नष्टं स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुध्य तुष्टात्
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टेर्
तथा ससर्जेदमोघदृष्टिः
यथाप्ययात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धि
यथा प्रयाप्यात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः।
श्रीशुक उवाच
श्रीशुक उवाच
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनिर्
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनि
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुद्य तुष्टात्
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरोध्य तुष्टात्
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टिर्
तथा ससर्जेदमोघदृष्टिः
यथाप्ययात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः
यथाप्ययात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः।
श्रीशुक उवाच
श्रीशुक उवाच
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनिर्
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनि
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुद्य तुष्टात्
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरोध्य तुष्टात्
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टिर्
तथा ससर्जेदमगो दृष्टिः
यथाप्ययात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः
यथा प्रयात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः।
Recite please.
श्रीशुक उवाच
श्रीशुक उवाच
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनि
एवं पुरधारणयात्मयोनिर्
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरोध्य तुष्टात्
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुद्य तुष्टात्
तथा ससर्जेदमोघदृष्टिः
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टिर्
यथा प्रयायात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः।
यथाप्ययात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः. Anybody else? Translation purport by Srivan Girasa by Charnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय।
Synonyms. Sri Sukha Uvacha Sri Sukadeva Goswami said.
श्रीशुक उवाच श्रीशुकदेव गोस्वामी said
Evam, just in the same way.
एवं just in the same way
Pura, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos.
Pura prior to the manifestation of the cosmos.
Dharanaya, by such a conception.
Dharanaya, by such a conception.
Atmayoni of Brahma.
Atmayoni of Brahma.
Nashtam, lost.
Ashtam, lost.
Smrutim, remembrance.
Nitim, remembrance.
Pratyavarudhya, by regaining consciousness.
Pratyavarudhya, by regaining consciousness.
Tushtat, because of appeasing the Lord.
Tushtat, because of appeasing the Lord.
Tatha, thereafter.
Tatha, thereafter.
Sasarja, created.
Sasarja, created.
Idam, this material world.
Idam, this material world.
Amogha drishti, one who has attained clear vision.
Amogha drishti, one who has attained clear vision.
Yatha, as.
Yatha, as.
Apyayat, created.
Apyayat, created.
Prak, as formerly.
Prag, as formerly.
Vyavasaya, ascertained.
Vyavasaya, ascertain.
Buddhi, intelligence.
Buddhi, intelligence.
Translation, please repeat after me. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said,
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said,
formerly, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos,
formerly, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos,
Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virat Rupa, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord.
Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virat Rupa, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord.
Thus, he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before.
Thus, he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before.
Purport.
The example cited herein of Sri Brahmaji is one of forgetfulness. Brahmaji is the incarnation of one of the mundane attributes of the Lord. Being the incarnation of the passion mode of material nature, he is empowered by the Lord to generate the beautiful material manifestation. Yet, due to his being one of the numerous living entities, he is apt to forget the art of his creative energy. This forgetfulness of the living being, beginning from Brahma down to the lowest insignificant ant, is a tendency which can be counteracted by meditation on the Virat Rupa of the Lord. This chance is available in the human form of life, and if a human being follows the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam and begins to meditate upon the Virat Rupa, then revival of his pure consciousness and counteraction of the tendency to forget his eternal relationship with the Lord can follow simultaneously. And as soon as his forgetfulness is removed, the Vyavasaya Buddhi, as mentioned here and in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41, follows at once. This ascertained knowledge of the living being leads to loving service to the Lord, which the living being requires. The kingdom of God is unlimited. Therefore, the number of the assisting hands of the Lord is also unlimited. The Bhagavad Gita 13.14 asserts that the Lord has his hands, legs, eyes, and mouths in every nook and corner of his creation. This means that the expansions of differentiated parts and parcels, called jivas or living entities, are assisting hands of the Lord, and all of them are meant for rendering a particular pattern of service to the Lord. The conditioned soul, even in the position of Brahma, forgets this by the influence of the illusory material energy generated out of false egoism. One can counteract such false egoism by invoking God consciousness. Liberation means getting out of the slumber of forgetfulness and becoming situated in the real loving service of the Lord, as exemplified in the case of Brahma. The service of Brahma is the sample of service and liberation, distinguished from the so called altruistic services full of mistakes and forgetfulness. Liberation is never inaction, but service without human mistakes.
हरि ओम तत्सतोम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमो आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्रीमधुसूदानां मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुलं गायते गिरिमत्कृपातमावन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्. So, very beautiful purport, very beautiful words. Sukadeva Goswami is telling Prior to the manifestations, the cosmos, Lord Brahma also meditated on this particular Virat Rupa, and by meditating, he has regained his lost consciousness. And then he was able to rebuild the entire creation as it was before. His duty was to create the entire universe. So it makes every sense for him to meditate on the Virat Rupa. We are not supposed to create universe, so we don't need to meditate on the Virat Rupa. However, the same Brahma has written the Brahma Samhita, because Brahma is the Prathamacharya in our Acharya Parampara, and as a pure devotee, he knows what is Virat Rupa and what is Lord Krishna. So, Brahma Evam Sahasravadana. This Virat Rupa, this is Maya Mayam. Krishna's Virat Rupa is another feature actually. His real Rupa is Dvibhuja Muralidhara, two hands. So same Brahma who meditated on the Virat Rupa for want of rebuilding the creation, the entire universal structure, because it made every sense for him to meditate on, he has to create that. But the same Brahma, he has told us, Venum Kvanantama Ravinda Dalayataaksham Barhavatam Samasitambuda Sundarangham Kantharpakotikamaniya Visesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So that is Krishna's real form. Venum Kvanantam is playing on flute. eh? But here it is said Virat Rupa, Brahma saw. He has got many Sahasra Vadana, faces, angry. So as soon as there is face, there is one face means there must be two legs and two hands. So the Virat Rupa should be having thousands of faces. Brahma would have meditated on that, and so thousands of hands and thousands of legs. So like that. So Brahma saw him in his Virat Rupam. Krishna, Brahman, Parabrahman, and Paramatma. So these are all the different means. The great. And he is also Parabrahman. Nobody is greater than him. So if anyone wants to see Krishna in his Parabrahman Rupa, then he exhibits his Virat Rupa. Just like Arjuna also saw Virat Rupa, the same thing. Eh? So, but that's not his natural form. That is Maya Mayam. Eh? So, you want to see God and you are not very advanced, then you can see the Maya Mayam. Advanced. Sometimes we want to see the superior in his great opulence also, like Brahma. So, but Vrindavanavasi, they are so affectionate, attached to Krishna. They don't want to see Virat Rupa. They simply want Krishna to love. So that is Vrindavana. So this is Krishna's real form, Venum Konantham. He is playing on his flute. And here is the Virat Rupa in Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Also, it is said that once the forgetfulness is removed, Vyavasaya Buddhi. So that follows at once. And then you will be able to render loving devotional service unto the Lord. Creation of the universe by Brahma is a loving devotional service that Brahma has performed for the Lord, so that the Lord can administer the living entities to offer a chance to become Krishna conscious. So as an Acharya, Srila Brahmaji has created this universe so that we get a chance to practice Krishna consciousness. And he has created pure devotees like four Kumaras and Narad Muni, and especially he instructed Narad Muni to come and preach to this entire human race to become Krishna conscious. So the Narad Muni has further established the whole parampara to teach us. And in that parampara, we got our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shad Goswamis, Panchatattva, and this what do you call Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Today is his Avirbhav 150th Avirbhav Sironmani Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharashtra Prabhupada ki jai. And then our Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, and then our dear Guru Maharaj. So through all of them, Narad Muni is obeying Brahma's order, who is his Guru. Okay, so he is maintaining this parampara from there to propagate this Srimad Bhagavatam cult to one and all, to engage everybody in the devotional service and make everyone devotee. So for that only Brahma has created the Srishti. Brahma also sent the devotee Narad Muni to establish the parampara and teach everyone to practice Krishna consciousness. So in this way, Brahma has done this creation as a pure loving devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. So we'll go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, Verse 2. Sabdasya hi Brahma esha pantha
प्राप्तस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पन्था
yannama birdyayati dhira parthaye
रण्यामभिध्याययति धीर अपार्थे
परिब्रह्ममंस्तत्र न विन्दतेऽर्थान्
रविब्रह्ममंस्तत्र न विन्दतीर्थान्
मायामये वासनया शयान
मायामयेव सनया सयाना
आब्दस्य हि ब्राह्मण एष पान्था
प्राप्तस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पान्था
यन्नामभिर्ध्यायति धीरपार्थैः
त्वन्नामभिध्यायति धीरपार्थये
हरिभ्राममंस्तत्र न विन्दतेऽर्तान्
रविब्राह्ममंस्तत्र न विन्दते रतान्
मायामये वासनया शयान
मायामये वासनये शयाना
शाब्दस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पन्था
प्राप्तस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पन्था
यन्नामभिर्ध्यायति धीरपार्थैः
यन्नामभिध्यायति धीरपार्थये
परिब्रह्मंस्तत्र न विन्दतेऽर्तान्
परिब्रह्ममंस्तत्र न विन्दते त्रान्
मायामये वासनया शनायाना.
माया मये वासनया शयाना
Yes, please.
शब्दस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पन्था
शाब्दस्य हि ब्राह्मण एष पन्था
यन्नामभिध्यायति धीरपार्थये
यन्नामभिर्ध्यायति धीरपार्थैः
परिब्रह्मंस्तत्र न विन्दतीर्थान्
परिब्राह्मंस्तत्र न विन्दतेऽर्तान्
मायामयेव सनया शयाना माया
मायामये वासनया शयान. Anybody else?
शब्दस्य हि ब्रह्मण एष पन्था
शब्दस्य हि ब्राह्मण एष पन्था
यन्नामभिध्यायति धीरपार्थये
यन्नामभिर्ध्यायति धीरपार्थैः
परिब्रह्मंस्तत्र न विन्दते अर्थान्
परिब्राह्मंस्तत्र न विन्दते अर्थान्
मायामये वासनया शयाना
मायामये वासनया शयान. Synonyms. Shabdasya of the Vedic sound.
Shabdasya of the Vedic sound.
He certainly.
He certainly.
Brahmana of the Vedas.
Brahmana of the Vedas.
Esha, this.
Esha, these.
Pantha, the way.
Pantha, the way.
Yet, what is?
Yat, what is?
Nama be by different names.
Nama be by different names.
Dhyayati ponders.
Dhyayati ponders.
Thi intelligence.
The intelligence.
Aparthaihi by meaningless ideas.
Aparthaihi by meaningless ideas.
Pari Brahman wandering.
Pari Brahman wandering.
Tatra there.
Tatra there.
No, never.
Na never.
Vindate enjoys.
Vindate enjoys.
Arthan realities.
Arthan realities.
Maya maye and illusory things.
Maya
In
Maya in illusory things.
Vasanaya by different desires.
Vasanaya by different desires.
Sayana as if dreaming in sleep.
Sayana as if dreaming in sleep.
Translation, please repeat after me. The way of presentation of the Vedic sounds is so bewildering that
The way of presentation of the Vedic sounds is so bewildering that
it directs the intelligence of the people to meaningless things like the heavenly kingdoms.
it directs the intelligence of the people to meaningless things like the heavenly kingdoms.
The conditioned souls hover in dreams of such heavenly illusory pleasures.
The conditioned souls hover in dreams of such heavenly illusory pleasures,
But actually, they do not relish any tangible happiness in such places.
but actually they do not relish any tangible happiness in such places.
Very beautiful, very beautiful words.
Purport. The conditioned soul is always engaged in laying out plans for happiness within the material world, even up to the end of the universal limit. He is not even satisfied with available amenities on this planet Earth, where he has exploited the resources of nature to the best of his ability. He wants to go to the moon or the planet Venus to exploit resources there. But the Lord has warned us in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16 about the worthlessness of all the innumerable planets of this universe, as well as those planets within our other systems. There are innumerable universes and also innumerable planets in each of them, but none of them is immune to the chief miseries of material existence, namely the pangs of birth, the pangs of death, the pangs of old age, and the pangs of disease. The Lord says that even the topmost planet known as the Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, and what to speak of other planets like the heavenly planets, is not a happy land for residential purposes due to the presence of material pangs as above mentioned. Conditioned souls are strictly under the laws of fruitive activities, and as such, they sometimes go up to Brahmaloka and again come down to Patalaloka, as if they were unintelligent children on a merry-go-round. The real happiness is in the kingdom of God, where no one has to undergo the pangs of material existence. Therefore, the Vedic ways of fruitive activities for the living entities are misleading. One thinks of a superior way of life in this country or that, or on this planet or another, but nowhere in the material world can he fulfill his real desire of life, namely eternal life, full intelligence, and complete bliss. Indirectly, Srila Shukadev Goswami affirms that Maharaja Parikshit in the last stage of life should not desire to transfer himself to the so called heavenly planets, but should prepare himself for going back home, back to Godhead. None of the material planets nor the amenities available there are for living conditions is everlasting. Therefore, one must have a factual reluctance to enjoy such temporary happiness as they afford.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Very beautiful. त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुना निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, because in this verse, in the translation, Sukadeva Goswami is telling that the way of presentation of the Vedic sounds is so bewildering that it directs the intelligence of the people to meaningless things like the heavenly kingdom. So the first advice to Arjuna, Krishna is telling about the Vedas is that The Traigunya Vishya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. So you rise above these modes, Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties. Be free. Gain and safely you establish in the self. Be in Krishna consciousness. So Madhvacharya also quotes similarly, Swargadayascha gunai sarve, dosha sarve tataiva cha, atmanak kartritra bharantya, jayante natra samshaya. Within the material world, the conditioned souls consider residence on the heavenly planets and celestial pleasure, like pious enjoyment, beautiful women, to be good and desirable things. Similarly, painful or miserable conditions are also considered to be evil or bad. So, all such perception of good and bad duality in the material world is undoubtedly based upon the fundamental mistake of considering oneself as the body and not the Supreme Personality of Godhead servant. And they don't consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the ultimate doer or performance. So it is there, no? Karmana guna, sorry, what is that? Sorry, not that. What is that? Gunai karmani sarvasha. Actually, karmas are performed by gunas, three gunas, not you. Eh? Why you want to consider the result of the body and the three gunas reaction you take? So all conditioned souls from Lord Brahma down to the insignificant ant, they are all declared by Sri Uddhava in 11th canto. You will see to be covered by material bodies produced by the illusory potency of the Lord. That's why it's bewildering. So the demigods in heaven, they are absorbed in universal management. They continuously utilize their fabulous material potencies and they gradually fix their minds upon their mystically empowered bodies, upon their bodily expansion, like their celestial wives, children, co-workers, and friends. So in the course of life in the heavenly planet, the demigods become conditioned to think in terms of material good and bad. And then they will get another body after the death. Just see. So this is the loss of God. So we have to be very careful in this regard. And we should not be attracted to the flowery words of Vedas. This is the order of Krishna. So please follow only Bhakti Yoga. If you want like Vedas to be followed, just follow the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of all the scriptures, and Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. So let's go to the next verse. 2.2.3. Ata kavir namasu yavadartha
अत कवै नामसु यावदर्थ
syada pramato vyavasaya buddhi
स्यायद् अपरमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
siddhe anyathartena yate tatra
सिद्धिन्यतार्थेन यते तत्र
parishramam tatra samikshmana
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना
ata kavir namasu yavadartha
अथ कवै नामसु यावदर्थ
syada pramato vyavasaya buddhi
स्यादप्रमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
siddhenyathartena yate tatra
सिद्धेन यातेन यते तत्र
Parishramam tatra samikshmana
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाण
ata kavir namasu yavadartha
अथ कविर्नामसु यावदत
syada pramato vyavasaya buddhi
स्यादा परमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
siddhenyathartena yate tatra
सिद्धेन यथार्थेन यत्र तत्र
Parishramam tatra samikshmana.
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना
Go ahead, recite.
अथ कवि नमसौ यावदर्थः
अथ कवीनाम सुयावदर्थ
स्याद् अप्रमत्तो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
स्यादप्रमत्तो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
सिद्धेन याथार्थतेन यतेत तत्र
सिद्धेऽन्यर्थार्थेन यतेत तत्र
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना अथ कविर्नाम सूयावदर्थ
अथ कवीनामसु यावदर्थः
स्यादप्रमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
स्यादप्रमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धि
सिद्धेन्यतार्थेन यतेत तत्र
सिद्धेन यथार्थेन यतेत तत्र
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना
परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाना
Synonyms. Atha, for this reason,
अतः for this reason
Kavi, the enlightened person,
Kavi the enlightened person
Namasu, in names only,
Namasu in names only
Yavat, minimum,
Yavat minimum
Artha, necessity,
Arti
Syat, must be,
Syat must be
Apramata, without being mad after them,
Apramata without being mad after them
Vyavasaya buddhi, intelligently fixed.
Vyavasaya buddhi intelligently fixed
Siddhe, for success.
Siddhe for success
Anyatha, otherwise.
Anyatha otherwise
Arte, in the interest of.
Artha in the interest of
Na, should never.
Na should never
Yathetha, endeavor for.
Yateta endeavor for
Tatra, there.
Tatra there
Parishramam, laboring hard.
Parishramam laboring hard
Tatra, there.
Tatra there
Samikshamana, one who sees practically.
Samikshamana one who sees practically
Translation, please repeat after me. For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life.
For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life,
While in the world of names,
while in the world of names,
he should be intelligently fixed
he should be intelligently fixed
and never endeavor for unwanted things.
and never endeavor for unwanted things.
Being competent to pursue practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing.
Being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing.
Purport.
The, the Bhagavad Dharma or the cult of Srimad Bhagavatam is perfectly distinct from the way of fruitive activities, which are considered by the devotees to be merely a waste of time. The whole universe, or for that matter all material existence, is moving on as Jagat, simply for planning business to make one's position very comfortable or secure, although everyone sees that this existence is neither comfortable nor secure and can never become comfortable or secure at any stage of development. Those who are captivated by the illusory advancement of material civilization, following the way of phantasmagoria, are certainly madmen. The whole material creation is a jugglery of names only. In fact, it is nothing but a bewildering creation of matter like earth, water, and fire. The buildings furniture, cars, bungalows, mills, factories, industries, peace, war, or even the highest perfection of material science, namely atomic energy and electronics, are all simply bewildering names of material elements with their concomitant reactions of the three modes. Since the devotee of the Lord knows them perfectly well, he is not interested in creating unwanted things for a situation which is not at all reality, but simply names of no more significance than the babble of sea waves. The great kings, leaders, and soldiers fights with one another in order to perpetuate their names in history. They are forgotten in due course of time and they make a place for another era in history. But the devotee realizes how much history and historical persons are useless products of flickering time. The fruitive worker aspires after a big fortune in the matter of wealth, women, and worldly adoration. But those who are fixed in perfect reality are not at all interested in such false things. For them, it is all a waste of time. Since every second of human life is important, an enlightened man should be very careful to utilize time very cautiously. 1 second of human life wasted in the vain research of planning for happiness in the material world can never be replaced, even if one spends millions of coins of gold. Therefore, the transcendentalist desiring freedom from the clutches of Maya or the illusory activities of life is warned herewith not to be captivated by the external features of fruitive actors. Human life is never meant for sense gratification, but for self realization. Srimad Bhagavatam instructs us solely on the subject from the very beginning to the end. Human life is simply meant for self realization. The civilization which aims at this utmost perfection never indulges in creating unwanted things. And such a perfect civilization prepares men only to accept the bare necessities of life or to follow the principle of the best use of a bad bargain. Our material bodies and our lives in that connection are bad bargains because the living entity is actually spirit, and spiritual advancement of the living entity is absolutely necessary. Human life is intended for the realization of this important factor, and one should act accordingly, accepting all the bare necessities of life and depending more on God's gift without diversion of human energy for any other purpose, such as being mad for material enjoyment. The materialistic advancement of civilization is called the civilization of the demons, which ultimately ends in wars and scarcity. The transcendentalist is specifically warned herewith to be fixed in mind, so that even if there is difficulty in plain living and high thinking, he will not budge even an inch from his stark determination. For a transcendentalist, it is societal policy to be intimately in touch with the sense gratifiers of the world because such a policy will frustrate the ultimate gain of life. Sukadeva Goswami met Maharaja Parikshit and the latter felt a necessity for such a meeting. It is the duty of transcendentalists to help persons who desire real salvation and to support the cause of salvation. One might note that Sukadeva Goswami never met Maharaja Parikshit while he was ruling as a great king. For a transcendentalist, the mode of activity is explained in the next shloka.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Really, really very beautiful words. अथ कविर्नामशु यावदर्थस्याद् अप्रमत्तो व्यवसाय बुद्धि. So in Bhagavad Gita we have vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. So those who are vyavasaya nischayatmika buddhi, their duty is to carry out the orders of the Supreme. And the Supreme is giving order in two ways, as Chaitya Guru from within and as spiritual master inside and outside both, you see. So, consult, I mean, to receive the order of Krishna means that Vijnanartham sa Guru meva abhigachet. One should approach the bona fide representative of Krishna and take order from that spiritual master as to what to do and what is this duty. That's only his duty. That is his only duty, Ekehe Kurunandana. Otherwise, he will manufacture so many duties that will not be helpful to him. Nischayatmika Buddhi. That has been very nicely explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also. Whatever order I receive from my Guru, that is my life and soul. I don't mind whether I'll be liberated or not, whether I will be successful or not. That is not my concern. My only concern is to see whether I am factually, faithfully carrying out the order of my Guru. This is called Vivashajatmika Buddhi Rekeha Kurunandana. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura is noting that. So these things are being explained in the same way. You don't think which is right or which is wrong. Okay? So that's all. You need to simply accept what Guru Maharaj says. So Vyavasatmaka Buddhi means fixed up. Fixed up our mind on Krishna. How to become fixed up? That art will be given by the spiritual master. That is way Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura is telling in this connection. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi means to take the words of the spiritual master as life and soul. That's all. That is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So, you don't care for liberation. Only business is to serve my spiritual master. That's all. Just like Srila Prabhupada said, what I am doing here is not I'm doing so many things. I'm just following one order of my spiritual master. That's all. So this is our process to depend on Krishna, Guru. Depend does not mean I shall remain idle. No. Depend means to work according to the direction of the Shastra, Guru and Krishna. That is called Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Tinete Khariya Aikya. Narottam also telling. Depend does not mean now let me sleep and Krishna will do everything. No. Depend on Krishna means what? Not like that. Krishna never advised Arjuna that you sleep on the chariot, I will fight. Did he? So, never said that. So you must have to fight, Arjuna. Yudhyasya mam anusmara, mam anusmara. Yudhyasva mam anusmara is very important. Fighting you have to do, but you always think of me. And how to think of me always? In this Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nagaradi Grama Moranam. Chant Gauranga, chant Hare Krishna. Always. Then you will be able to always think of Krishna. So, this is very, very important that we need to be Vivasayatmika Buddhi. Krishna consciousness movement is so important. So, if people simply learns this one thing that Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam, everything belongs to Krishna. Sarvam means everything. Not that this much is mine, this much is Krishna's. No, no, no. Sarvam. Ishavashyamidam sarvam yatkinchit jagatyam jagat tene tektena bunjitha. Simply we shall use as much he has allotted for us, including the body is allotted to us, then there is peace and prosperity without any difficulty. So, this is very, very important to understand what is the importance of Guru, how to be Vivashyatmika Buddhi. If you want to be fixed up, then you have to receive it, order from Guru, and just make the order of Guru as your life and soul. That's all. It is that simple. So let us try to see one more verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, verse 4. Satyam chitau kim kashipo prayasair.
Satyam Shitau Kim Kashipo Prayase
Bahau swasiddhehi upabharhanaikim.
Bahau Svasiddhehi Uparha Kim
Satyanjalau kim purudanna patriya.
Satyanjalau Kim Purudhana Patra
Digval kaladhau sati kim dukulai.
Digval Kaladau Satu Kim Dukulai
Satyam chitau kim kashipo prayasair.
सत्यां शितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासे
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेहि उपबर्हनैकिम्
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेः उपहनैकिम्
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुदान्नपात्र्या
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
दिग्वल्कलादौ सत् किं दुकूलै
सत्यां क्षितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासैर्
सत्यां शितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासे
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेहि उपबर्हनैकिम्
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेः उपबर्वणैकिम्
सत्यञ्जलौ किं पुरुदान्नपात्र्या
सत्यञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
Yeah.
कशिपो प्रयासै
सत्यां शितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासै
बाहौ स्वसिद्धे उपबर्हनैकिम्
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेः उपबर्हनैकिम्
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधान्यपात्रा
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
दिग्वल्कलौदो सति किं दुकूलै
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै सत्यां शितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासै
सत्याशितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासै
बाहौ स्वसिद्धेः उपबर्हनैकिम्
बाहौ स्वसिद्धे उपबर्हनैकिम्
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधान्यपात्रा
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
सत्यां क्षितौ किं कशिपोन् प्रयासेर्
सत्यां शितौ किं कशिपो प्रयासे
बहौ स्वसिद्धेहि उपभ्रान्तिम्
बहौ स्वसिद्धे उपबर्हन्ति
सती अञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
सत्याञ्जलौ किं पुरुधानपात्र्या
दिग्वल्कलदौ सति किं दुकूलै
दिग्वल्कलादौ सति किं दुकूलै
When, sorry, translate synonyms. Satyam, being in possession.
Satyam, being in possession.
Kshitau, earthly flats.
Shitau, earthly flats.
Kim, where is the necessity?
Kim, where is the necessity?
Kashipo of beds and cots.
Kashipo of beds and cots.
Prayasaihi, endeavoring for.
Prayasai, endeavoring for.
Bahau, the arms.
Bahau, the arms.
Swasiddhe, being self-sufficient.
Swasiddhe, being self-sufficient.
He certainly.
He certainly.
Upabarhanaihi, bed and bedstead.
Upabarhanai, bed and bedstead.
Kim, what is the use?
Kim, what is the use?
Sati, being present.
Sati, being present.
Anjalo, the palms of the hands.
Anjalo, the palms of the hands.
Kim, what is the use?
Kim, what is the use?
Puruda, varieties of.
Purudha, varieties of.
Anna, eatables.
Anna, eatables.
Patraya, by the utensils.
Patreya, by the utensils.
Big one space.
Big open space.
Valkala, Adav, skins of trees.
Valkala, adhav, skins of trees.
Sati, being existent.
Sati, being existent.
Kim, what is the use of?
Kim, what is the use of?
Dukulehi, clothes.
Dukulehi, clothes.
Translation, please repeat after me. When there are ample earthly flats to lie on,
When there are ample earthy flats to lie on,
what is the necessity of cots and beds?
what is the necessity of cots and beds?
When one can use his own arms,
When one can use his own arms,
what is the necessity of a pillow?
what is the necessity of a pillow?
When one can use the palms of his hands,
When one can use the palms of his hands,
what is the necessity of varieties of utensils?
what is the necessity of varieties of utensils?
When there is ample covering or the skins of the trees,
When there is ample covering or the skins of the trees,
what is the necessity of clothing?
what is the necessity of clothing?
Perfect.
Purport. The necessities of life for the protection and comfort of the body must not be unnecessarily increased. Human energy is spoiled in a vain search after such illusory happiness. If one is able to lie down on the floor, then why should one endeavor to get a good bedstead or soft cushion to lie on? If one can rest without any pillow and make use of the soft arms endowed by nature, there is no necessity of searching after a pillow. If we make a study of the general life of the animals, we can see that they have no intelligence for building big houses, furniture, and other household paraphernalia, and yet they maintain a healthy life by lying down on the open land. They do not know how to cook or prepare foodstuff, yet they still live healthy lives more easily than the human beings. This does not mean that human civilization should revert to animal life or that the human being should live naked in the jungles without any culture, education, and sense of morality. An intelligent human cannot live the life of an animal. Rather, man should try to utilize his intelligence in arts and science, poetry, and philosophy. In such a way, he can further the progressive march of human civilization. But there but here, the idea given by Srila Shukadev Goswami the reserve energy of the reserve energy of human life, which is far superior to that of animals, should simply be utilized for self-realization. Advancement of human civilization must be towards the goal of establishing our lost relationship with God, which is possible in any form of which is not possible in any form of life other than the human. One must realize the nullity of the material phenomenon, considering it a passing phantasmagoria and phantasmagoria and must endeavor to make a solution to the miseries of life. Self complacence with a polished type of animal civilization geared to sense gratification is delusion, and such a civilization is not worthy of the same. In pursuit of such false activities, a human being is in the clutches of Maya or illusion. Great sages and saints in the days of yore were not living in palatial buildings furnished with good furniture and so called amenities of life. They used to live in huts and grooves and sit on the flat ground, and yet they have left immense treasures of high knowledge with all perfections. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami were high ranking ministers of state, but they were able to leave behind them immense writings on transcendental knowledge while residing only for one night underneath one tree. They did not live even under the same tree, and what to speak of well furnished rooms with modern amenities. And still, they were able to give us most important literatures of self realization. So called comforts of life are not actually helpful for progressive civilization. Rather, they are detrimental to such progressive life. In the system of Sanatan Dharma, of four divisions of social life and four orders of progressive realization, there are ample opportunities and sufficient directions for a happy termination of the progressive life. And the sincere followers are advised therein to accept a voluntary life of renunciation in order to achieve the desired goal of life. If one is not accustomed to abiding by the life of renunciation and self abnegation from the beginning, one should try to get into the habit at a later stage of life, as recommended by Srila Shukadev Goswami, and that will help one to achieve the desired success.
Very beautiful purport. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, very, very actually, King Parshit has achieved the desired success. What is the desired success? In fact, the desired goal of life is simply hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which Sukadeva Goswami achieved the desired goal of life simply by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Parishit Maharaj by hearing it. Prahlad Maharaj became successful in his devotional service by always remembering the Lord. Lakshmi and the goddess of fortune was successful by engaging herself in massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. King Prithu became successful by worshipping in the temple. Akrura became successful by offering prayers. Hanuman became successful by rendering service to Lord Ramachandra. Arjuna became successful by being a friend of Krishna. Bali Maharaj has become successful by simply by offering all of his possessions to Krishna. So this is the desired success of life. And great stalwarts, they have already achieved by practicing devotional service in at least one of the 9 devotional service. If you practice, the desired success will be achieved. There are so many examples of devotees who discharged all the different items together. In the 9th canto, you will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaja Ambarisha, he followed all 9 devotional process. So first of all, Ambarish Maharaj has concentrated his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Then he engaged his speech in describing the pastimes and activities of the Lord, just like here Sukadeva Goswami. And he engaged his hands in washing the temple of the Lord. He engaged his ears in hearing the transcendental glories of the Lord, just like Parishit Maharaj here and all of you. He engaged his eyes in seeing the beautiful deed in the temple. He engaged his body in associating with the pure devotees of the Lord. When you associate with someone, you have to sit down together, eat together, and so on. In this way, the touch of your body with this body is inevitable. Ambarish Maharaj made his association only with pure devotees and did not allow his body to be touched by anyone else. He engaged his nostrils in smelling the flowers and tulsi offered to Krishna. He engaged his tongue in tasting Krishna Prasad, prepared specifically for offering to the Lord, and the remnants of which are taken by the devotees. Maharaj Ambarish was able to offer very nice prasad to Krishna because he was a king and had no scarcity of finances. He used to offer Krishna the most royal dishes and would then taste the remnants as Krishna Prasad. There was no scarcity in his royal style because he had a very beautiful temple wherein the deity of the Lord was decorated with costly paraphernalia and offered high-grade food. So everything was available. And his engagement was always completely in Krishna consciousness. The idea is that we should follow in the footsteps of great devotees. If we are unable to execute all the different items of devotional service, we must try to execute at least one of them. Shravanam, Kirtan, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as exemplified by the previous acharyas. If we are engaged in the execution of all the items of devotional service was like Maharaja Ambarisha, then the perfection of devotional service is guaranteed from each one of these items. With the first complete engagement, one becomes automatically detached from the material contamination. Then why you want to go for a luxury life and this and that? The whole education of the material life is to how to comfort, how to increase comfort and luxury living. And this has nowhere led to happiness to anybody. So, Rupa Goswami is telling, regulative principles of devotional service are sometimes described by authorities as the path of serving the Lord in opulence. So at least if somebody wants comfort also, keep the Lord in the center. And then you can be opulent, but need not be, you can be opulent, you can be luxury, but need not be lavish. Okay, whatever given in the quota, your quota by Krishna, you can use that to best of your ability, Vivasayatmika Buddhi, in order to perform devotional service to Lord Krishna. It should increase affinity to hear about Lord Krishna. It should increase affinity to serve Krishna. It should increase affinity to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this way, you should try to give happiness to Lord Sri Krishna. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. This is called devotional service. So when you engage your senses in the senses of Lord Krishna, rather than personal sense gratification, try to gratify the senses of Krishna, then your senses will automatically be gratified. Just like watering the root, every part of the tree will become, enlivened. So if you try to satisfy the senses of Krishna, then your senses will automatically be taken care of very nicely and wonderfully, the way you have never ever dreamt of. You'll get that much pleasure because he is Ko-Brahmanya Hidalcha also. He is also the giving senses, the pleasure giver is Krishna. Because in Hare Krishna there is a Rama, that means a reservoir of pleasure. So from there only you can get the pleasure. You cannot get the pleasure from anywhere else. By engaging your blunt senses, dead senses in the dead matter, how can someone yield pleasure here? If you heard that, okay, sugarcane is very sweet and sugarcane is a tree like bamboo. So you go and break a bamboo and chew. Will you get the sweetness? So we are trying to enjoy our senses with the jadendriya and jada material. So with that, you cannot get the sweet taste. You have to identify the ganna, means the activity that are devotional service. If you get, you will get the pleasure. The activity which is karma, you will not get the pleasure. So you need to understand that and then perform the devotional service. Make an attempt. You will see the result. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments or realization, please do share with me. 5, 4, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
I was having one question, but you already answered. While reading the purpose, like I was thinking, it was mentioned why we need this comfort zone and all. Like when we have this floor, why we need bed and all. But you already answered that. Even if we are living in that comfort zone, we should. So that is the point I'm taking with this.
Yeah, super, super, super. Utility is the principle because it's Krishna is giving. So you have to use it to progress in Krishna consciousness. Very nice. Thank you. Hari Bol, thank you for the association. Tomorrow we'll resume our class at 8 o'clock. Till then, Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Paditapan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur 150th Avirbhav Mahotsav ki jai.
Jai.
वैष्णव प्रणाम वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय।